Welcome back to TLR episode 54. I'm finally happy to be back with my bestie. I've missed you these last couple of weeks. Man,
I think you gave me your flu. I feel like crap today.
uh it has been so I got home the other day for the first time since the beginning of the month.
Yeah, I know you
And
were
I was gone the
everywhere.
whole month. Like I got stuck. So I traveled for the first week or so of the month. And then when I got back to my parents' house because they were watching my cat. And the same day I got back, I was like body ache, and I was like, nope, this is bad. I went to lay down, and the whole week went by. Like it was a mess.
Poor baby.
Flu. But I'm back. Hopefully you feel a little better. I know you're feeling a little crappy, but we're good. We're here. It's TLR. It's episode 54.
We
I've
got,
what was that?
we got this.
We got this. I've missed you. I've missed the chat. Let's jump into some fun stuff. This week in particular, it was kind of hard to find headlines for this.
Yeah,
show.
I got up this morning and then I looked again midday and then I looked and I couldn't find anything that I was like, oh, that's it. That's the one we're talking
Yeah.
about. You found better ones than me because I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, I mean, for a week that like wrestling has its biggest headlines, like
My God. Wrestling has been crazy.
Hollywood's been struggling a little bit with all these with headlines. So I guess the first one that we could kind of start talking about is the stuff that's going on with Sports Illustrated. You sent me this article. I started kind of skimming through it, and man,
The drama.
drama. And before we jump into this, like AI, I kind of had a feeling when AI first came out, like this was going to become an issue.
Yep.
Do you know what's exactly is going on with this headline? Can you explain to us what's going on?
Yeah, so they created some AI photos and portfolios for writers on their website to make them look like they were real. But this articles were being written by AI generated machines. But if you went to Sports Illustrated, you will see a photo of a person, you will see like a little bit of a bio and all that.
Yeah.
But these were all AI generated writers, and they were just having it's kind of going to Chat GPT, which Chat GPT can do that. There's so many. It's happening on YouTube. There's so many channels that are what we call content farms, which is
Yeah.
people that has an auto editor, an auto voiceover, and they put all the details into an AI, and it writes a script for you. These people are not, like there's channels that are not even. You might just have the voice of the narrator, might be the only thing you're familiar with, but everything
Yeah.
else is just AI generated. And a lot of these channels are very successful because they find a topic general enough that ChatGPT is not going to screw it up and you can make a video about it, like 10 great
Yeah.
great places to visit in the world, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So Sports Illustrated started doing that, and there's a reason. I know we talk about the AI Bad Bunny back when I went solo, that Bad Bunny was very much against that AI song that went viral on TikTok using the likeness of his voice. And I think that's why a lot of people are against it. I don't know if you remember when the AI generated art and everybody was posting their pictures
Yeah.
of and artists were going like, I don't think you guys understand how many jobs these are going to take. It really is
Yeah.
happening. This, but I guess Sports Illustrated at first tried denying the allegations.
Yeah, I don't know how you go about denying that when you know it's happening. It kind of takes the trust and legitimacy away from your company, your brand, even though it's Sports Illustrated. It's one of the top, in journalism, but still it kind of tarnishes their reputation, I think, if they deny it. Like if you're be open about it. Like it is what it is. Like people are using it. I've seen other creators using AI and whatnot, Chat GPT, but just be upfront about it.
Yeah, it says that they released a statement. And it says the article in questions were product reviews and were licensed content from an external third party company. A number of advanced e commerce articles ran on certain arena websites. So now they're trying to say that it was like a third party, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Some of these reports were actual like articles on their website. If you are, I know for example that Forbes works with third party companies and their writers, and then they publish their work on Forbes. So
Yeah.
you might think that this person works for Forbes, but they actually are working for like a different company. So I think there might be something to what they're saying here, because like a company as big as Forbes, I know they use third party people to post some of their articles.
Yeah.
But still, like, before you make a statement and deny everything, at least like go to this company that you hire and find out, hey, were you using AI? Like, let's cover our butts here, because you
Yeah.
saying, oh, we didn't use AI, and then having to take it back and said, okay, well, maybe it's not a good look. And it's crazy how much Sports Illustrated has fallen off the wagon. Like, that used to be the number one source for sports and everything. And now when I read this report, I was like, when is the last time I went to Sports Illustrated for anything? I haven't in a
Yeah.
long time. I remember I used to be into the covers. I used to be into, now nothing really matters with them anymore. So maybe they are budget cutting. I'm not sure, but it's crazy how far they've fallen.
Yeah, and it's not just them either. Like if you look at other media outlets, like I used to be a huge fan, I still am a huge fan of Rolling Stone magazine.
Yeah.
I used to love the covers. I used to collect them and have them in my house. And like the last time I even saw one, I was like, I couldn't tell you who was on the cover or what, but
I legitimately don't pay attention to magazines except at the airport. That's when I realized magazines are still a thing, because you start walking the shops when you get there early.
Yep.
And they always had the books and magazines, which makes sense to buy them at the airport, because if you don't want to pay for the Wi-Fi on the flight, take something to read, right?
Yeah.
But you don't even do that, because I download something to read, or I download movies and videos on my phone, so I don't even buy the books anymore. I think it's crazy how much like the world has changed, not just in AI, but even like you're talking about like Rolling Stone, Sports Illustrated, even with wrestling. Like a lot of times we go to our favorite YouTubers. We're not even going to regular news outlet, because you have some people on YouTube that you like how they deliver the news better. They do the research for you and they put it in a more entertaining video. So I probably go to external, like different kind of audiences to find my wrestling news. My dog just almost knocked everything out. Oof. I saw his life flash in front of my eyes because he like tripped over the light. Okay, he's okay. But anyways, I just think it's crazy how much we are not going back to those sources.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they will have to budget cut, but at the same time, I don't lie about it.
Yeah. It's strange because the world has changed so much, obviously. Like I personally would rather watch a video of someone telling me what happened with the captions on if I want to be able to read, opposed to reading an article where you don't really get, like we've seen articles, we've used articles on this show where the writer tries to use humor and their own expression, and it doesn't come off the right way, because you're like,
well, think about it. Look at the way we deliver our pop culture news for the week. We find the headline, we kind of like glaze over it, but then you and I make it our own and talk about the issue without reading the article word by word. Nobody wants to sit here and watch us read the article. They want to see us discuss. I am with you on that. I would much rather have someone. I just recently, with the war going on, I remember going on YouTube, searching it and educating myself that way. Just find a bunch of documentaries that have been made on YouTube, kind of like explaining it. And because of the whole Scream franchise, and we can get into that later. I don't know if you heard about it. Okay. Crazy. So when that happened, I was like, I really don't understand. Like, I realized how much I don't understand this issue going on the other side of the world. And what did I do? I didn't read an article. Like you just said, I went on YouTube, searched it, and watched like 3 or 4 documentaries and became fully educated on it. And a lot of people, I know a lot of random things, and people are like, how do you know this? I'm like, oh, I watched a YouTube video. Like, but yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think that there is, even if you keep it as background noise, a lot of times I like videos. If I need to pay attention, I do like the caption, all that, but a lot of times I'm just listening to you as background noise while I'm doing my thing in the house. I'm not like sitting here like this. So some of these websites, I think Sports Illustrated is one of them, offer like a read over version of the article, but the voice is so annoying, I can't do it.
Let me ask you this question before we move on to other topics. This is kind of a big topic in media and journalism, even in our field with wrestling. News today has changed tremendously, where it's not even news anymore. It's like they take one little aspect that is the truth and it's all opinion, and people treat it as news. How do you feel about that? When someone says, CM Punk returned to WWE, that is the fact, but it's CM Punk returned to WWE and this is blah, 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 blah. Then it becomes opinion.
Yeah, so CM Punk comes back to WWE, AEW is going down, or I see what you're saying. I always try to make it a point. to tell people when they ask me, and I know that I don't post a lot of videos independently. A lot of my content is more streaming, but I
Yeah.
always make sure that people know, like, hey, what you're listening to me talk about is opinion based. And
Yeah.
I go to quite a few YouTube channels that you hear them say, hey, this is an opinion channel, this is a conversation channel, discussion channel. I think that as long as you disclose it, it's not a problem, or like you can at least kind of like disclaim where you're getting this news from, what
Yeah.
your source, this or that. But I think that what people don't understand is that once you grow a certain size platform, you are influential. So you saying, "Oh, CM Punk came back and now AEW is going to go down," it will resonate with some people, even though you're just stating an opinion. So I do think that people have to tread carefully with the way that they talk, the way that they even post on social media and this and that, because I think once you have any kind of influence over people, you really have to be careful, because your words do have a certain power,
Yeah.
and you gotta watch out what you're saying and not spread fake news.
Yeah. And it's become, honestly, I don't know what the proper term is, because listen, I do it. We all do. We add our opinion into that. That's how we grow our brand. Our perspective, our opinion is what fans kind of cling to.
The thing that bothers me about that is that, and I do it, I personally practice this, and I know a lot
Yeah,
of people in the chat watch me. I the community that I have built is like that we can agree to disagree. I don't want them
exactly.
to take my
Respect.
opinion as religion, and you can be in my chat and say this is my favorite wrestler. I don't like CM Punk being back. I like CM
Yeah,
Punk being back. That's okay. I think that we can all have a smart discussion, but do not take the words that I'm saying, and that's what you have to believe in, or you don't belong here. I'm gonna kick you out of the chat. No, I think we all have different opinions, and that's what I think is mostly important. Like,
yeah,
but it's crazy, the tribalism that starts happening when people just start like
yeah,
really taking on to somebody's like serious opinion. Or like, I saw so much back and forward on social media yesterday. I even kind of like threw my own 2 cents and laughed about it, because I saw people going back and finding some of these news reporters or people that have big platforms and what they said about CM Punk will never be back, and clipping that and tweeted them at them, just to get a nice, a nice laugh out of it. And I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, our words are not, anything changes. Everything changes in wrestling. Wrestling is one
yeah,
of the hardest things to cover, because it's all storyline. Nothing is impossible in wrestling.
yeah,
So it's like, how are you supposed to? We can do our best to try to tell you what we think is going on, but
yeah.
you don't know. Only Triple H and Nick Khan back there know exactly what's going on. Like, let's keep it real.
I I look at the situation with Edge leaving WWE, and we're using wrestling here to kind of make the
Well, because
references.
that's what we're more familiar to when it comes
Yeah,
to reporting things.
like there were reports Edge is like letting his contract expire with WWE. He's gonna go to AEW, and he made a whole video like, this is not true. It's not happening. And then it did happen, and it's not the first time that that's happened with that individual, but also others. Like, it's very difficult to believe the truth especially in wrestling. Other industries it may be a little different, but for us, it's they and I understand why they're doing that. They're not lying on purpose. They're trying to keep it a secret because surprises and pops bring the ratings and they bring the memories and moments. So
Yeah,
I
but it's
get it.
hard to do that when you're going to AEW. Everything leaks over there. You know this.
It's just, I don't know, like,
No, I know what you're saying. And a lot of times
yeah,
I just have to sit there and kind of like do their own thing and stay
yeah,
face, even though they're lying to your face.
yeah,
It is what it is. I will say one thing. I never say never with WWE. I seen so many people that should have never came back, just come back and shake hands and do business
yep.
with the company. I have
I was not
seen
surprised.
so many things happen in wrestling that, and somebody said yesterday that if you're a draw, you can work. I can't remember what podcast I heard that on.
Yeah,
And I personally said, it's like, I'm sorry, CM Punk is a cash cow. Whether you like him, whether you like his
yeah,
antics, whether you know he's controversial, he's polarizing, he gets everybody talking about him, in a company just left that cash cow walk out. Because
yeah,
like, I'm not trying to be petty, but how many times do you see WWE make people sit on their freaking contract without working? There's a reason why they do those things.
yeah,
But now you just made this guy that makes millions of dollars for everybody walk out. So I just don't think that I think that anything is possible in wrestling,
Yeah.
but I do think that when they want to keep it close and a secret, they know how to do it as well.
Yeah, I'll never forget, and I credit Eric Bischoff to so much. A lot of like my mindset in wrestling really has come from listening to him and how his mindset is. And his book he wrote years ago, "Controversy Creates Cash." That's a motto in wrestling. That's a motto in anything. But wrestling is one of those things where you could take a guy with a bad reputation, but if he does create controversy and he creates money and he sells tickets and merchandise, you can do
Make
business.
it work. Make it work.
You can do it.
You WWE get the winning end of this stick altogether, and we'll wrap it up after this. But CM Punk needs WWE more than WWE needs them. CM Punk has to fix everything that happened in AEW. He doesn't want to retire with that being the last what we remember of him, especially after being gone almost 10 years. And WWE is in such a position. If you watch War Games, I feel like the women's and the men's matches have so many main eventers, so many of these girls and guys that you can put the main title on them now and it will be believable. That if CM Punk doesn't work out, they could easily say, okay, go sit on your contract again. We'll fire you on your wedding anniversary day. You're done. So I do think that, and WWE has a person in charge for everything. There is a structure. There's actual leadership. There's a business model. And I do think that he is such a wild card that he does need to be kind of like held back. You can put him in a company where it's just like, yeah, anything goes here, whatever, because then he's gonna go crazy. I do think he needs to be kind of like held back a little bit. We'll see how it goes, but I don't think anybody has anything to lose from the CM Punk run in WWE. I want it to go well, but if it doesn't, guess what? He's the one who ends up doing. He's got everything to lose.
We've seen people like the Ultimate Warrior, Sting, Bret Hart.
Freaking Bret Hart after the Montreal Screwjob.
Brock Lesnar, Goldberg. I mean, there have been people who have left on bad terms and like publicly said they'd never come back, would never do business again, blah, 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 blah. CM Punk being one of those. Like if you look back 10 years, like all the stuff that happened, like.
When people ask me, why do I don't get shocked at certain things happening in wrestling? And I hate to bring up this example, but I have to. As you know, Bruiser Brody was murdered in Puerto Rico during a wrestling match. And a lot of the people that were with Bruiser Brody that have gone on podcasts, you can see there was a lot of American names that were here that talked about it. But you know what? All of them came back and did business with WWC after that. So you mean to tell me nothing is possible? You watch your friend possibly get murdered and then you're still going to do business with that company? I don't think things are... I think anything is possible in wrestling. Yeah, I think everything is possible in wrestling. I just think so many people get screwed over. So many people screw over WWE. So many people go through personal losses and all that, and they all just end up working it out. That is just... I think money talks. And I think that... You know, when it comes to that, like I told you, I can't remember who said it, but they said yesterday on a podcast I was listening to, you're a draw, you're going to work. Yeah. CM Punk is a draw. And at least, but in wrestling, I do think that the opinion base really affects how people think, especially because some wrestling websites have like a cult-like following. And I hate that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like some people could be saying something that is not 100% the opinion that you agree with, but if you try to question that, then they come for you, you know. And it's like, it's one of the reasons why I've been a lot more step back from social media and all that, because it's just like, I'm just gonna go on my stream, do my thing, you know, and that's it, because it's kind of toxic. So at least with the AI, unless you instruct it to be toxic, funny, or whatever, it's going to give you a very neutral report. I have used AI for a few things, and you feed it the info and it's going to give you what you want. So I will say to Sports Illustrated, at least, you know, they're getting a neutral report on whatever they were posting and not an opinion-based, you know, piece. Yeah,
I agree. And it speaking of this kind of topic, we can kind of transition over to our next topic here. And that's the Ozempic craze. I know that's a weird transition, but people are really, you know, we're talking about truth and opinion here. The same thing is going on with this Ozempic outbreak in Hollywood, where people are refusing to admit that they're on it. And there's just a lot happening. Sharon Osbourne, Amy Schumer, Sophie Turner. So many people have been giving their opinion on this. What do you think about what's going on with this it's an Ozempic outbreak is what they're calling it.
Well, the drug is for diabetics. Like it's
Yeah,
supposed to be prescribed for people that have diabetes,
it's
and
an
then
insulin drug.
and there is some people that are not diabetic that are getting it, and there are some people that are not necessarily at the weight point that you need to be to take such a drastic weight loss
Yep.
approach. And it has some side effects. If you guys get lost in the rabbit hole I have, you will see that it's very obvious to see who's on this medication, because of it does certain things to your face, like like it makes you look so much older. It's like you look skinnier, but it also looks like you age 20 years in like a
Yep.
year, and it's so easy to be able to tell who is doing it. I don't know if you follow certain YouTubers, but I have seen reviews from a lot of YouTubers that also tried it, that it ended up being very, very bad for them, and it made them very, very sick, and it took them months to be able to recover
Yep.
from it, only
And
using
then
it
you
for a
gain all the
couple
way
of
back.
months. Yeah, and then you gain the weight all the way back. This isn't it's not gonna help you keep it off. It's
No.
almost like the people that, hey, I did this back in the day. I did the Atkins craze, the low carb diet, and I lost so much weight and I look so good. I swear to you, Joey, the first week that I started eating carbs again, I have gained it all back and more. I worked 3 months to lose like 30 pounds. I was so happy. And then it took me less than a month to gain all of it back.
Yep.
And the worst part is that I got so sick. My body was so detoxed from carbs themselves that the first day
Yeah.
because I did it for a vacation, right? We all do the quick
Of course.
diet for something.
Yeah.
So of course I was gonna eat terrible. And I'll never forget the first time. I think it was a burger. I can't remember what I had with the bun, because you can
Yeah.
eat it without a bun if you're doing low carb. I got so sick that you think I have just gotten food poisoning, and it wasted a whole day and a half on my vacation. Like we all do it, but it's not sustainable weight loss. You're gonna feel sick. Your face is gonna change. A lot of things are gonna change. You're gonna be moody. Like there is a lot of really, really ugly side effects. And this medication is expensive. You're gonna find doctors that will write it to you. Like people cheat the system everywhere, especially the celebrities that we see in this article. But we're talking, I think it's like 900 for like 2 doses of it. So you're gonna be paying $900 every other
Yep.
month to be able to keep up with it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth it, because I just seen so many things that you could do to change your lifestyle to be able to make it work. But people want to see it fast. And I
Yeah.
just think some people on this list that I'm like, you weren't even a big person to begin with. Like just couldn't you just watch what you were eating a little bit? That would have been sufficient, you know?
You know what I think is one of the worst things about this whole thing is that there isn't a shortage of
Hmm.
this drug,
And real people with
and
that,
people
my,
are
my mom, by
suffering.
the way, sorry to interrupt, but my mom is diabetes, and I just want to give her a big fat shout out because it's her birthday today. So, mommy, mwah,
Happy
happy
birthday, Mama
birthday.
Diva.
It's her birthday today. I'm going to celebrate it with her on the weekend, but she's diabetic, and she never had to have this prescribed, but she was talking to me about how like some of the people that she knows are like on a wait list for it that need it to
People who actually
survive.
need it.
And you have people that are just using it to just be skinny, especially celebrities who can afford. You can afford a chef that's gonna make you a delicious meal that's gonna taste delicious and you don't even realize it's healthy. You can afford a personal trainer that's gonna make you a workout plan that you like it based on what you like to do,
Yep.
and you're still gonna take the easy way out. Like it
Money
doesn't make any
talks.
sense to me.
That's
If
what
I
it
was
is.
a millionaire, Joey, like I have money to throw away, that's what I would do. A chef and a personal trainer. This is the exercises that I like. This is what I like to eat. Make it work, because that's what they do. They will figure out a way to feed you what you want and put you in
Yep.
workout programs that you're gonna enjoy, and that's the end of it. But I look, I used to be a lot bigger. I shared that with a lot of people. I used to be bigger.
Yeah, we talked about
And
this before.
before I got sick to my stomach, when I tried to lose weight the healthy way, it was so hard. It was the hardest thing, but it was so rewarding to see it happening, because I was
Yeah.
putting in the work for it. And if I slipped up, it's my fault, right? But now it's like you're gonna stop taking this medication and you're not gonna change anything that you're doing, and you're still gonna gain all of this weight back and more. And this medication just what it's doing, guys, is making them not hungry. These people are, I don't want to say something wrong, but
Yeah.
borderline anorexic, because they're not eating. They have no appetite. They get sick at the thought of eating.
Yeah.
And I have a disease that literally does that to me. So I'm like, I don't wish that to my own enemy. So why are people doing that on purpose to themselves? I don't even understand.
I saw someone said it in the chat. I think it was Joseph. People are desperate for a quick fix. They don't want to put the work in. They want it now. They want it overnight. And it goes to other things too. They want overnight success. Nobody wants to, work hard for anything. And for the people like yourself who actually have put the work in to fight against that, to overcome that, to be confident in yourself and proud of yourself, it's just the world that we live in today is just that. Like everybody wants a quick
Yeah.
fix.
In the news report that we have, Amy Schumer, for example, says that she admitted to being immediately invested in the medication, but explains that it was just not livable for her to not only take medications for people that are diabetes, but she said she couldn't even spend time with her son. She said she was one of those people that felt so sick from it that she couldn't even play with her son or had the energy to even throw a ball at him to play with him, and she had to immediately get out of it. I like that she brought in the fact that I didn't want to be taking these drugs away from people that actually need it. Also, there is another over here from, I think it was Sharon Osbourne in this news articles that say that the thing that makes her sick is that she knows everybody in Hollywood is doing it, so they hate when people say, "Oh, I'm just eating healthy," when it's like the signs that you're on it are so obvious that it's like, stop it. At this point, you might as well just admit that that's what you're doing. There was a big rumor. I think it was Khloe Kardashian, the one that got big time accused from it, especially because of the changes on her face. People just want that quick fix, and I feel like we've been doing this for a while, and don't we know that the quick fix it never works?
You'll get the quick fix, but it's not permanent. I don't know. It's one of those things where you'll get you get the satisfaction of whatever you're looking for, but it makes it 10 times harder to keep up with it.
Yeah.
It's like that motto, keeping up with the Joneses. Like there are so many people who are like, they're putting themselves in debt to have a nice car and to have nice things, but at the end of the day, they go home and they don't own it, and it's not theirs. It's just for show, and they're like a shell of themselves because of it. Like you lose you lose yourself in it.
Yeah,
it's like you're chasing an image.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like I said, especially from people that don't need to be taking this away from people that actually need it and can afford all of the needs to be able to just, because I don't know. Like you see, like Kim Kardashian, for example, I know that people talk a lot about all the chefs and all these things that she has, but she has a chef, she has a personal trainer, and she has work done. We all know this, but at least the maintaining of it, she's doing it the right way. But I just, there's a big, we just got a super chat, Joey.
Super chat, look at that.
Hey, thank you, so Ricky.
Much, Ricky. Great show, Joey Nisa. Thank you very much, Ricky. We appreciate that. I've been away a few weeks. I've missed everybody. I'm so happy to be back, and
I'm happy that you're back too. I had to do one alone, and I was gonna go solo last week too, and then I had a power outage at the very last minute. I'm messaging our Know Your News team where I'm like, I don't even know if it's gonna come back. I don't want to put out a show and advertise it and then have to take it away. So I was just like, we decided, you're gonna laugh at this. We decided over on my channel that I'm gonna put a frame in the back, and it's gonna be like blank days since the last power outage, and we're gonna change the number every day.
That's funny. I love that.
I know, me too. We came up with it on my chat. So I think everybody that knows me and knows the issues that we have in Puerto Rico will get the sense of humor in that. Instead of blank days is an accident, blank days is the last power outage.
I'm glad that you have your power today, because I've missed you.
I missed you too.
I've missed our chat. Thank you so much, Ricky, for the super chat. $20 there. That's an amazing.
And it helps us. It helps us. Just know that in Know Your News, they do give us our fair share of the super chat. So
yeah, and it means a lot too, because like being a content creator, I don't think like the average person understands the toll that it takes on people. Not just going in and putting the effort in creating and being creative to be different, but the mental toll of that sense of, am I good enough? Is my content good? Like, I'm not getting numbers, I'm not getting followers, all this stuff that goes into account that really crushes you. And, to have people like Ricky, and now Sheldon one in the chat.
Thank you, Professor Sheldon.
Yes. It means a lot to have people hear and value our work, but
We
also
appreciate you guys.
appreciate, exactly, they appreciate us, we appreciate you. There's a mutual respect here. Sheldon says, once they tell one lie, they have to keep lying and telling a bigger lie each time in order to keep up. And it's really,
Yeah, but with the
yes,
celebrities, when it comes to that, it's like there are, and if you look it up, there are very specific side effects to this drug. That
yeah,
is like it doesn't matter what lie you're telling, everybody knows that you're on this. Like there is no hiding it. Like there's like I think they call it like the dead face or the zombie face because it changes your face and it doesn't matter how much Botox you're injecting, people can see the difference.
yeah,
So in a way, it's like you can tell the lies you want before, like back before this drug. Like, did you get work done? Is that your real body? Is that? But with this, there's very obvious specific signs, especially from the lack of eating to like the portions that they're eating, that a lot of people in this news articles that were reading were just calling people out on their BS because they were like,
yeah,
no, it's BS. Just say you're on it. We're all on it.
yeah,
There's a lot of specific side effects to this thing. I swear to God, I'm gonna kill Roman. He keeps like walking by that light. He's gonna give me a
yeah,
heart attack. But yeah, so it's just like you can tell the lies, but I don't think that is like this one. You can't lie your way out of it, and also
yeah.
just find a different solution because some people are in need of this medication that desperately and they can't get it.
And because the effects are not permanent, like, don't these people know that they will eventually be caught when they do stop using it, or when the fat goes away and they don't see any reason to do it? Like,
Well,
you're,
they'll keep doing it to maintain it because once you stop doing it, then you get your normal appetite back and all that.
yeah,
So they stay on it just for because it's like the biggest appetite suppressant there is. You don't get hungry, so
yeah,
you can go without eating all day.
yeah. Samantha in the chat says, "Who lied? I'm kind of out." Yeah. So Samantha, we're not talking about a specific person, just that the Ozempic outbreak in Hollywood, how people are denying it and people are, lying
Hmm.
about it in general. There are people like Amy Schumer and Sharon Osbourne who have come out and admitted to it. So we're just
Yeah.
kind of we're debating the topic of the Ozempic outbreak that there is, not just in Hollywood, but across the world. Really, it's everywhere. I know people who are on it, and it's like, for what? Like, but regardless, let's jump over to this next topic. This one kind of annoys me.
Uh
And
oh.
Jada Pinkett Smith talking about
I'm
her
so over her.
her marriage to Will Smith. You know, I feel like she uses this as, it's like her brand now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all she talks about.
Like, they've been separated for what, over 6 years, but the article that we're referencing, she basically confirmed that she will never divorce Will Smith, that they're in it forever. You can't say you're in it to be with each other forever, but be separated. It makes no sense. Like, legally you're married, but you're separated. You're not together.
Right.
It makes no sense. And, Samantha just said it in the chat. I don't know if that's 100% true. She said that she ruined Will's career. I definitely think this tarnishes Will. She attaches herself to Will, and anything that he does, he's going to have this, his wife always coming out and saying something like,
She needs to just go away.
she wrote a whole book, like, either decide to be married or don't be married. But you can't cry and make all these things about marriage and what makes a marriage work and blah, 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 blah. But you're separated and refuse to be divorced. Like, where is the disconnect here? I see a lot of hypocrisy with this topic when it comes to specifically her. I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't like her. I don't like the way that she, I don't know. I don't want to say sabotage, but I just feel like, listen, you don't want to divorce him because he's your partner. That's not what we're gonna do. Then why do you keep making him look so bad? Like that episode of Red Table when she started talking about her entanglement, and she just
Yeah.
seems so proud of that while he's just sitting there in obvious pain. I don't know what video showed up in my recommended the other day about their marriage, but I heard about their 40th birthday party and how she tried to throw her this extravagant birthday party and
Yeah.
she told him to cancel it, that she made it about him. And I think he was just really, I think people would show a display of love in a whole different way. And
Yeah.
I don't know that she understood that is like, maybe he's a very extroverted person, and he's saying, look at all the people that I can get here for you, and look at all these things that I do for you. It's his way. And maybe she's
Yeah.
introverted, and I would rather go on a vacation with just you and me and forget all of these people, right?
Yeah.
But the party's already done, people are already there, and you're gonna make him cancel it. Like, it just seems like it's very, very toxic, and
Yeah.
I just don't know why she's still hanging on to this. She's I agree with Joseph. I mean, I
Mm.
didn't know who Jade, and I know that she's had some roles in this and that, but I know who she was until she married Will Smith.
Yeah. But before that, she was known for being with Tupac. Like she's
Right.
always been known to be with somebody. Like that's it's been her brand.
Then Joy.
No, like seriously, like
No, it's true. You're right. You're right.
I don't know if you saw her
Well, she
recent.
went and talked all this like about Tupac in the book, and I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
I get that he passed away, but you're married to somebody else. Like, knock it down a bit. You
Yeah.
can like think about. We all have that one that got away, right? Don't we all
Yeah.
got the one that got away? Do you go and tell your new one about the one that got away? You don't. You keep it to yourself. You
You
know.
don't go around to your friends and be like,
Yeah.
about the one that got away, but I'm with this one. This is-
Right. This will do for now, but
I don't know if you saw her recent interview with Jay Shetty, where she kind of talked about the book and
I
all
don't
this
watch
stuff.
anything that includes her name in it.
Oh,
I don't
she
even know
talked
how I
about
ended up
the
watching that
Oscars.
video.
She talked about the Oscars. She threw Will under the bus. She was like, I didn't know he was gonna do that. I didn't make the face to make him go do it. Like that. At the end of the day, that's your husband. You, despite being separated, you chose to go with him to be his plus one.
Oh yeah, she said she wasn't even supposed to be invited. That she was shocked that he took her with.
Yeah. And then she's sitting there like, I didn't roll my eyes for him to go do something. I was just like, she actually referenced like she thought it was kind of funny. Like she got the joke, and Will was the one out of it. Like at the end of the day, that's your husband. You're there to support him. Whatever happens to him, like stand with him. The fact that she didn't stand with him on this topic, like he's out of the Oscars for like 10 years. Like he got canceled. And she's like, I don't have anything to do with it. Like, come on.
I need Will,
but you love him.
I need Will to just rebound. I need him to fight a hot, like super good looking girl and just like rub it all on her face.
I don't know if he ever
I know that's terrible to say, but I do. I don't think he'll move on from her. I think he loves her.
I think
but it would be so funny if he just say like, nah, F this, I'm gonna go and be happy. Like, how old is Will Smith now? It sounds like he's been living
50.
in this.
He's
and he's been living in this weird marriage that we don't know the half of what has gone on. They're just wanting to be happy.
Yeah. Listen, they have a good group of kids that came out of the marriage, and who.
I know you were going there. You said they had a good group of kids that came out of it. I'm like, whoa.
I don't know. I don't know one person to be, and I'm not trying to like shade her or like shade on her,
it's so good.
But I've never met one person that's liked her. Like I've always heard people like, oh, she's annoying. Oh, I can't stand her. Like she preaches all this stuff, but she does the opposite of what she preaches. Like she's a major hypocrite, and like. I don't understand. Like her book, she only got this book deal because of what happened at the Oscars.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, it's because she's attached to somebody else.
It's crazy how many celebrity books are out there now. I didn't purposely go to Target, but once I left SmackDown on Friday, there's a Target right next to the Allstate Arena, and I had to wait on my Uber, and I'm not used to that code, so I was like, I'll buy something at the Target. So I went to the Target, and I actually needed makeup removers because I have forgotten mine anyway. So I go and buy my makeup removers, so when I go to check out, there's like a whole like end cap, and it was all celebrity books. Britney Spears, Jada Pinkett, it was all celebrity books, and I'm like, I feel bad for real writers that are struggling to get their books out there right now, because these people didn't even write these books, they just putting their name on it. So it's like I feel so bad for like real writers out there struggling to get their books seen, because all that these stores and everywhere is promoting is the celebrity books. Now the Britney one I found telling, I didn't think we got as much info out of it as we're gonna get. A lot of burning on Justin Timberlake, but I don't know that I got all of the answers that I thought I was gonna get out of it. I'm not sure that she can give those answers, but the whole point is the book is a thing that happened because of the Oscar, because of who she is, and because who she's married to. That's it. I don't care about her story outside of that. I don't.
She talked about Tupac. Like, we're in 2023. Like, how are you still clinging on to this story? I just don't get it.
Because it's the only thing
Tupac and Will were good friends. Like, what do you guys like? Play ping pong with her? Like, she doesn't help her case.
Joey.
Like, she doesn't, like, she's not making herself look good to promote this book. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I told you I can't stand her.
I'm not very fond of her. But you know what, guys in the chat, it was a rough week for headlines. Celebrities are keeping quiet the last few days. We could barely find anything. I went on TMC first thing when I wake up, which I usually do, and you know this because I typically when I find something I'll send it. I couldn't find anything. I went, did my thing, came back, sat down again. I look again, nothing. I was like, at one point I was like, well, here's to hoping that Joey finds something, because I went to all my go-to websites and I just could not find anything. So we gotta talk about Jada Pinkett Smith because the Kardashians are quiet.
Yeah. Let's talk about this next topic here. Another one where honestly, I'm tired of them too. I'm tired.
You're tired of everybody.
I'm over these people. The royal family. What the Prince William, or whatever the hell his name is, says that he believes that therapy brainwashed Prince Harry. He thinks that all of these things, I'm just like,
is his wife middle name therapy? Because that's the only person who brainwashed him.
Yeah.
Therapy Marco. There you go.
I don't know what is happening. I know I have lost brain cells with some of these people.
I have lost brain cells with everything going on with this family. I think we talked about Prince William, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle here in the past, and you know how I feel about them. But I'm sorry, I think it was Meghan. I think the change in Prince Harry came after Meghan. He can blame it on therapy, he can blame it on whatever he wants, but I think it's a marriage.
Listen, people say that love changes you. That could be for the good or for the worse, whichever. Everybody's different. I think that he went against the grain. He went against not necessarily his family, but he found somebody that wasn't, according to his family's legacy, he wasn't supposed to be with. And I think he got a lot of pushback for that. And she showed him a different side to what he's known. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's just a change in perspective. And he saw a different life that he wanted for himself. And he kind of was stuck in a position where he had to choose. I know there's a lot of situations where, families don't have, they're not part of the royal family, but like they find a spouse that necessarily doesn't get along with their family or doesn't go well with their family. And they have to pick a side, There's a lot of people that are stuck in those positions where this one's just a larger scale. And, you would hope that Prince William would be more supportive instead of blaming what happened on therapy. And I don't think therapy.
Why should he be supportive though? They talk so much crap about them too.
That's the give and take here. It's like, why do you do that also? Why are you like shading your family when
I wouldn't say anything. If I was Prince William's situation, I wouldn't say anything. He's still gonna be king and Harry's not. Haha.
Yeah. Another super chat here. Sheldon. I think Will truly does love Jada and the idea of marriage, but Jada loves power and control, but unfortunately power control trumps love in that marriage.
Well, yeah, Sheldon. Yeah. Go back to watch like some of the things that Will Smith has said in the past. He's a marriage kind of guy. He calls his biggest failure in life his first marriage falling apart. I do think that Will Smith's the kind of person that gets married and is in it for the long run, and he's gonna try to make it work regardless. And I do think that maybe she does take advantage of that.
1,000 everything you just said and what Sheldon said, I agree 1,000%. It's like you know, they and she said this in the Jay Shetty interview. They both came from broken families, and they both wanted to create a family together to kind of get what they didn't have growing up. But unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way. It turned out
It's
kind of
yeah, it's crazy what coming from a, we don't need to get into that because then we'll get into therapy and then people will
yeah.
blame it, like, you know, like Prince Harry. But it's crazy how coming from a broken family would could change really your outtake, because some people like really would try to make it work, and you got some other people. In my case, I come from a divorced household where it's just like, I personally have this weird belief that everything ends, like
Yeah.
everything's gonna come to an end. And maybe it is because of that, you know, but it's like insane because you have some people that are come from broken families and then, no, we're gonna make it work, we're not gonna follow the steps. And you have some people that are like, yeah, it's not gonna work,
Yep.
since before you even go into it, because of that mentality. And people say
Exactly.
that doesn't, sometimes it doesn't affect people, because I have seen people that their childhood doesn't affect them in any kind of way, you know. But
Yeah.
I think that I think there's some ideas that you go into your grown life that come from that.
I agree. But I don't know. I think to shade anybody and saying that, you know, Harry was brainwashed by therapy, I think to shade anybody about going to therapy, like therapy is, it takes a strong person to be able to admit that, one, they need to work on something, or that they need help, but also to go into therapy. Like, those are huge steps to take. And
I don't like therapy.
I don't know. I guess everybody has their own like thing on it.
My trust issues are so extreme that I just don't trust telling somebody I don't
I
know
get that
everything
though.
about me. Like,
I
I
get
think
that
it's
though.
like, I don't know you. Why would I tell you all of these things about myself?
See, are you independent in that sense, where like when things happen, like you know how to deal with it yourself and how to
Yeah,
like
I
deal
never
with
tell
yourself?
anybody. Like, you, if I ever ask you for help, it's a
Yeah.
dire situation or somebody's hacking my phone.
I don't know. I just, in this situation, like to publicly say like, oh, he was brainwashed by therapy. That's kind of like why? Why even, like, you know, like
It's weird.
you're just looking for something to blame for what
Mhm.
happened, like for what's happening. And it's
Well,
just
maybe
like,
he still doesn't want to believe, because I do think that prior to all this drama, I think that
yeah,
Prince William, Prince Harry had a really great relationship, and they went
they
through the
did.
loss of their mom, and they were always together, like the two sweet kids that we remember. I know I sound old, but I'll never forget where they were. You know, like how little they were when Diana passed away, and them growing up together without their mom. I know they had share a lot of tough moments, and they grew up together, and I just always saw them as this really cute inseparable brothers. And then all of a sudden she came into his life and everything changed.
Yeah.
I do remember Prince Harry always being the most rebellious out of the two, doing some dumb shit. I remember he was partying in Las
Just
Vegas and that.
partying. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was never gonna be king. I don't think he ever had to live up to the standards that William had to do, because if something happens, it's
Yeah.
William the next in king. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's not Harry. So I do think that Harry took advantage of that and lived a little bit of a wilder lifestyle.
Maybe he
But
didn't want it from an early age, you know?
right,
He didn't care
but
for it.
I just don't know this whole, like, the royal family and what they did. Like, it seems like they want all the attention, but they don't want it, and I don't know where they stand. But to
Yeah.
me, if I had to point the finger, I will say it's since he got married.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
don't get me
man.
started on her, because there's a lot of things that she's done that she's changing her life, and she, like, it's a mess. It's a
Yeah.
mess.
Yeah. Just they need to just deal with their crap. And
Aren't they okay now? Like, they made a shit ton of money from Netflix, from the book, from everything. Like,
I'm
just
just
go and
tired
live
of
your
hearing
life.
about them.
Yeah, go and live your life, because they don't want to be part of the royal family anymore, but they still want the titles. Like, everything about this is
Yeah.
so weird. It's like, make up your mind. Do you want to be in the family or not?
Exactly. Like pick a side and stick to it, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Because clearly the royal family is their own side.
Mm-hmm.
So they're always gonna throw backlash at whatever they're getting, you know?
Yeah.
So pick a side. Do you want to be in the family? Do you not want to be in the family? Make it work. Don't make it work. Enough with the documentaries. There's 100 documentaries. Too many books out there with, like, again, what we talked about at the beginning of the show, fact and opinion, like blurred lines.
Mm-hmm.
Let it be. Fix your family drama. And
Or
before,
just keep it. I guess when you're like one of the most famous families in the world, it's hard to keep that to
yeah,
yourself.
I don't know. I know you've had a busy week, busy few weeks. Have you had a chance to watch anything new? I actually no. Before we, instead of that, let's talk about the Scream stuff while we're at it, because I know that that's a big
Oh my
topic,
God, I'm so
and
sad.
uh, I was really looking forward to the next Scream movie, and then I saw one headline
Yes.
come out, and then Jenna Ortega's headline came out, and it just trickled and kept spiraling.
So the Melissa Beretta firing was due to some statements that she made in her Instagram story that came out of anti-Semitic. I didn't think they did, but that's just
Yeah,
my own opinion. I'm putting that clearly out there. I think people state worse things,
yeah,
actors or whatever, on their social, but she just shows support for for one of the sides of the things going on the other side of the world, and they fire her for that. And obviously, I'm very upset because if you go back and you look at Scream 5, because you had Neve there still and all that, I wasn't really buying them. But the last Scream, I fell in love with the new four. You
yes.
finally got me invested with the four new characters. I
Look,
walked out of
these are the
Scream
characters now.
6. Yeah, I walked out of Scream 6 thinking they can continue with this four, and I'm perfectly okay with it. Even if I
Yeah,
don't see Neve Campbell, even if I don't see Gail Weathers, like I'm okay with this four. I learned to love them. And
yes.
now knowing that two of them are not coming back. Now I know Jenna Ortega is a very busy girl, and some people are saying that it is because of her schedule, because obviously
But
the
she's doing
strike just
Wednesday.
right, the strike just ended. She still has Beetlejuice 2 and Wednesday to film. Like this girl is busy.
Yeah,
And I personally think she'll be as busy if it wasn't for Scream. That's how a lot of people
I
found her,
agree.
and she went into the horror section of things. But hey, we can talk about that later. But the whole point of it is that they saying that Jenna's not coming back is due to scheduling and not to
Yeah,
support towards Melissa. But this group of guys like really became good friends, and I can just see them having to completely write something new. And I don't know, how do you go from here? Do you think Scream 6, 7 should even happen at this point without the two Carpenter sisters you have? I'm sorry, I don't know that you have a storyline
if we look back at the end of the last Scream movie, that could easily be a send off for that.
for the core four. They call
Yes,
themselves the core four.
yes.
Yeah.
We've seen it done with Neve before, where she's left movies and she's come back, she's left, whatever. Maybe we go to a different,
They have to go
I don't know.
back to, they had to pay Neve Campbell the truck of money she was asking for, which
Yes,
you can now because you just got rid of two of your
two.
biggest paychecks. But I feel like for Scream 7 to work, then you just have to keep it Sydney Prescott oriented, and
Yes,
they're going after Sydney and her kids, bring back Patrick Dempsey, who she married story
yeah,
wise, and just keep it straight there. And maybe even you have to bring back a character that we don't know about. Like I know some people like fandom that's still alive. That there's a whole conspiracy side of Scream that you can go down that rabbit hole. But Billy's parents were on Scream 2, like the mom, one of the attackers. So maybe
yeah.
Stu's mom. Like you're gonna have to bring it back to that. But I still cannot comprehend the movie. Like it would just feel like such a different direction, and it's gonna remember the trilogy of Halloween, and I know some people have
Yeah.
controversial with Halloween ends because they went in a complete different direction. It just feel like a movie that didn't belong there. I feel like no matter what happens, that's how Scream 7 is gonna feel. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I'm not gonna watch it. I love Scream too much. I will watch
Exactly.
it.
Me
So I'm
too.
not gonna be a hypocrite and tell you, oh no, they fired this girl. So no, I'm gonna watch it. I'll be there. They got my money, but I don't know that I'll love it, and I'm very curious to see if they can save it.
Listen, just like they brought these two females in to create a new story, they could potentially do that again with different characters. You can go the Scream. You don't think so?
I don't know.
I don't
Everything
know.
they have managed to keep it making sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
they had the, except for Scream 3, that was a whole mess. But they have died away from the story, but it still makes sense. There's still a
yeah,
tie-in. I'm not sure that the twins will come
yeah,
back if the girls are not there, but yeah, I mean, in the last movie they said, hey, Sydney sends her greetings, but she's not gonna be here. She deserves
yeah,
her happy ending. You could do that here, but with the Carpenter sisters, saying, "Hey,
yeah,
we're gonna have to deal with them. They're not gonna come back. They deserve their happy ending," and that's how you write them off.
yeah.
Um, if they kill them off screen, I'm gonna be so pissed off. I'm telling you that right now. You cannot kill them off screen. Just say that they're off, getting their happy ending, and just leave it at that.
Yeah.
unless their murders is what brings Sydney back. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm just shocked. I don't know a lot. And I told you, because of this is why I started watching all these documentaries about
Yeah.
the war and what's going on, because I didn't feel educated enough to understand if I even had an opinion on her firing or not.
Yeah.
So her standing out and this whole thing happening just made me very educated about the effed up stuff that's going on across the world. Nobody's talking about it. Like, it doesn't feel like people are talking about it.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different. I don't feel educated enough to tell you that I stand with her, don't stand with her, but I don't think that what she said was grounds for termination.
Yeah.
I don't. If that's just, I saw her stories and I just didn't think that it was grounds for termination. But with her being gone and Jenna not coming back, it's just gonna take they're gonna have to back up some money to Neve Campbell and
Yep.
to a good writer that can just take this mess and fix it. Because the one thing about Ghostface that I always given props to Scream is that Ghostface could be anybody. They got
That's the
very
key.
smart with Ghostface being a killer that changes per movie. You're not locked down to a Michael Myers, to a Freddy Krueger, to a
Yeah.
Jason. This could be anybody. So it's a blank canvas now for you. But how do you tie it in?
I have an idea.
Go ahead.
I have an idea off the top of my head.
Okay.
Let me run it by you since you're the Scream expert here. So you bring back Neve, right? You bring back Sydney, right? And you go more into like a deep dive of her life today, right? But who else in the franchise who is still alive knows the most about Sydney?
Gail Weathers.
Exactly. What if somewhere along the lines, Gail Weathers turns on Sydney, becomes Ghostface because of the loss of Dewey? And
You could do
now,
it for the loss of Dewey, or you could do it for the loss of relevancy, because she
yes,
only
that too.
became famous due to Scream stories. So if Ghostface
Yeah.
dies, she don't have anything to be relevant about.
Or
Because they
she,
have fed. I mean, I do think that Gail has have her good girl moments, but
yeah,
they have fed us throughout every single movie that Gail is here to be relevant and to be the top
yep.
reporter.
She teetered.
So yeah, if Ghostface is gone, then Gail doesn't have anything to latch on to.
Exactly. So maybe she either becomes Ghostface or creates like she kind of brainwashes other people to become Ghostface for her, and stages her own stunts where it looks like she's a victim to become the new Sydney. And I don't know. There's so many different ways they can go with it with the history of the franchise.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Like, I understand the concept of creating new characters, but I don't know.
It's just sad for me because I
Yeah,
really like Scream 6 and I
I
really
loved it.
finally got invested into these four characters. I like them. I love them. And at one point I remember talking to you, I think it was on this show, where I was like, I don't even feel that we need a Gail Weathers. Like, I didn't miss
Yeah, you
Sydney
did
in the
say that.
last movie, and I didn't think that Gail just felt like an extra. Like, let's
Yeah.
just add her in there for nostalgia. But the movie would have functioned without her.
Yep.
So for me to go, this is like, if not, it's gotta be my favorite franchise because it's the one that was happening when I grew up. Like when I go back and watch Halloween or Freddy, I love them, but these franchises happened before my time. This was
Yeah.
the franchise that happened during my teenage years,
Yep.
So
I was Ghostface for like 4 years in a row for Halloween.
yeah, like I have a lot of love for Scream, and
Yeah.
it's just never gonna go away. That's why I told you. I see a lot of people I boycott, and I'm like, stop lying to yourselves. We're all gonna go see it.
Yeah.
Whether we're gonna talk crap about it once it come out, probably, but we're gonna go see it. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I'm not gonna watch it. That's a lie.
Yeah.
But I really, really, because I was so close off to the idea, and maybe they'll prove me wrong again. I was so close off to the idea of these new characters. I didn't really love them after Scream 5,
Yeah.
but I really enjoy Scream 6. So we'll see how it goes, but it's just not looking very positive for the franchise as of
Yeah.
right now, and hopefully they can figure it out. I
I
think
hope they
Neve will
don't
come
scrap
back.
the movie. I don't want them to scrap the movie. Give us something opposed to nothing.
I hope that they at least buy more time.
Yeah.
If this is gonna be the issue, then at least ask for more time to kind of focus and don't try to write something in a hurry.
Yeah. No, I get it.
The problem is everybody's trying to come out with this production so fast because we lost a year of
Yep.
things in this, in this Hollywood huge strike. So all the studios are like, no, we need this and we need it out now because they gotta
Yeah.
make up for this time that they lost. But I want them to like I don't know. You know, Hollywood. We talked about it in wrestling. If you can
Yeah.
draw, you can work. Hollywood is like they take a name. If it's gonna make money, we're gonna put anything out there and we're gonna put it out instead of just respecting the franchise
Yep.
and what it means to the fans. They're gonna see Scream, Ghostface, it'll sell, right? Whatever. You know, and I hope that's not what they end up doing.
Well, I'm sure we could sit here and talk about Scream forever.
Yeah.
Um, anything else that you've watched? I know you were busy this week, so
I watched Survivor Series and SmackDown, Joey.
yeah,
That's what I watched.
I'm very
I had a
excited.
great time in Chicago. I sent you some pictures. I
You
didn't mean to
did.
rub it on your face, but I was
No,
like,
I
you
loved
should
it.
have
I
been
loved it.
here.
I know.
You should have been here. You would have had a blast.
Yeah.
I had an excellent time, and I got to be in the press conference. I got to ask questions. Always grateful those opportunities. Sometimes I'm still sitting there, and the little fangirl in me goes like, "Oh, holy crap! Like I can't believe, like it means a lot to be invited by WWE to be there as press and to take part
Yeah.
of everything. It's really freaking cool, and I just never take it for granted. I had a great weekend. I'm tired, and I told you earlier I'm gonna have to start taking something because I feel like your flu. I'm getting it now. I went from 10 degrees to 90 and my body is feeling it. I will say, thank you, Joseph. The Allstate Arena is absolutely incredible. I don't know how the acoustics are set up. It's old and
Yeah.
it's kind of ratchet,
It's the wood
but
roof.
the way that everything just sounds so loud, and it was like it wasn't no backlash crowd, right? But it was one of my favorite crowds of the year because everything just sounded, I miss a CM Punk return because we were
Yeah.
being let back, but what I heard was the fans going ah, and then we looked in the monitor they had in the room, and he came out.
Yeah.
But the way that the pop just sounded so insane, like that arena, I can see why a lot of people love, that arena, and I can see why WWE continues to run it. it
Yeah.
is it is is the atmosphere and the energy in there is incredible. A lot of people talk crap, why are they using the United Center or other
Yeah.
arenas? No, 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 no. Continue to use Allstate. I absolutely love that. It's probably, as far as Chicago goes, it's my favorite venue that I watch wrestling in.
I don't know. I had major FOMO watching you and other creators that I'm friends with as well, and I was so upset. I was
I
laying
was
in bed.
upset.
Yeah, and the worst part was I had my hotel booked. I had my flight
I can't
booked.
hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you. Okay, now I can hear you. Now I can.
I had everything booked, my flights, my everything. I was talking to Steve
We
Fall.
can't
He
even
was like,
hotel for once, because we said from now on we're gonna stay at the same place.
"Yep,
Um,
the O'Hare Hotel."
hit me when I went to Mindy's Bakery without you because we planned Mindy's Bakery for like 2 months now.
You
And I
did.
was like, we
You
can't tell
told me that
anybody.
months ago.
I was like, we can't tell anybody that we're going because they'll steal our idea, Joey. Listen, we did good. No, I didn't see anybody else go to Mindy's before the return. So
Yeah, it was. I was living vicariously through you, but I'm on the road to the Royal Rumble. Okay, and
Tampa. I'm trying to
Tampa.
talk Joey into having a dual birthday party that we can
You don't
throw
have
it
to
in
talk me into it.
Tampa. Both of
I'm
our birthdays are in January, so why not have a birthday party in Tampa?
Capricorn season. We're doing it. We're gonna have a party. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna do it big. We're gonna get good interviews and whatnot. We're gonna have fun. Tampa's beautiful, and the weather will be nice.
Yeah. No
So
getting sick. Like I feel, I don't know what to take. Anybody tweet me or DM me, let me know what I can.
seriously,
I feel like it's coming on. So I feel like maybe if I start taking something today,
yeah,
I woke up and I wasn't as sick as you got, but I woke up and I couldn't get out of bed. And I felt a
yeah,
little achy and I feel my head is heavy and I'm like, what is happening?
yeah. No, it was bad. I remember like I rolled over in my bed and I looked out the window and I just saw like everything was spinning and I was like, oh my god, it was miserable. Probably the worst sick I've ever been in my entire life, to be honest. But I'm getting there. I'm like 90% now. I'm almost there. And yeah, hopefully soon I'll be 100%. I'm back in my content creation. I haven't made any content in like 2 weeks, and so I apologize for not posting for anybody that just saw nothing on my stuff. But no, Tampa will be fun. January will be fun, and I'm so excited to be back on the show, and I'm so excited to be talking with you. And it's always a pleasure to
Yeah, I'm glad to be back together. We feel like we haven't been here in a few weeks. We apologize everybody, but we're back and we're gonna keep doing this. And now Me and Joey also wanted to sit down after this busy time and talk about doing something over on my channel. So just
Yeah.
stay tuned for that. We'll announce it eventually. But yeah, we're having a blast. Thank you guys for tuning into TLR. Thank you. I got the hiccups. Thank you for the super chats.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll get some scandals next Tuesday because celebrities were quiet this week. What the hell? Not a lot of hot tea.
And kudos to you, Issa, for holding the fort down, doing shows by yourself, whatnot. Like, you know,
I stream every day by myself, but it was a little bit harder to try to like stay on topic because my streams are always all over the place. I'm trying to see if the raw ratings came out, but I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah, but,
Shouldn't they be out by now?
You would think it's
right.
Almost it's the middle of the day on Tuesday. I don't know.
I don't see anything. All right. I'm very curious. I'm typically not a ratings person, but I need to see how Raw did yesterday.
Oh, don't worry. Just go on Twitter or X later, and you'll see everybody and their mothers copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Ugh.
Yeah, but I like the people that just say, "Hey, Raw did this," and put the numbers. Like I hate don't give me an article. I'm not clicking on it when I can just scroll and somebody will give me that. I just want to know the number. I'm not trying to read your opinion about the number. Okay.
Yeah. Everybody becomes a politician. Everybody becomes a TV producer. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
They're not out yet. All right, let's wrap it up.
Thank you so much for another great episode of TLR. Happy to be back with my bestie, Issa. Thank you again, Issa, for holding the fort down. And we'll see you next week for episode 55.